What's up, my friends? I am back. I'm just sitting here picking on my Get Lele. This thing is pretty cool. It's like a 6-string ukulele, but it has a little bit different sound, like a very small body nylon string guitar as well. So I've done a lot of cool music with this thing, and I love it so much. But anyway, I want to get on and talk about something else in this video series of mine here. And my last video, I was sitting here on the porch talking, and if you're wondering, I just recorded this one right after that one. I just got cold, put my pullover on. So I'm picking on guitar, but anyway. Just some things come to mind I want to talk about. I want to do for this little video series. Things that have worked for me in music licensing that may help you. One thing I want to talk about is very serious. You're going to get into music licensing. What I'm going to talk about, no matter what industry you're in or business you're in, there's always somebody doing something unethical or dishonest. And I'm gonna tell you something, man, that'll end your damn music career quicker than it gets started. And I cannot stress enough to do the right thing, okay? You may not have really bad intentions, and then there might be some people that do. I don't know you. You're watching this video. I want you to take my advice. I want you to listen to me very carefully. You got some folks out there that are doing things very unethical and wrong, and a lot of people are just doing it because they want to cheat the system to get ahead and try to make quick money, but they don't. Some of them aren't even composers, but it'll make you think they are. They just want half your writers and want to get out there, and then they want to go out and tell everybody they're a composer and all this stuff, and they're not. Now, some of these people are really good at being a middleman, know how to make connections with people, and I don't know how they do it. They really are, and I don't know how the hell that they do it. But if you get music to a library as exclusive, you keep that music in that library. Do not do anything else with that music. If you don't think people will find out, they will. There's sophisticated technology out there, and you get a reputation of taking music and doing that and not doing things by the right way. Not only would it get you legally in trouble, get you sued and some other things that are much deeper. It can get you, well, I guess we say banned or shadow banned in this industry. In other words, there's a lot of publishers out there, tons of them around the world, but these people talk, and I've seen it, and I know, and I don't want to get any detail of what I know, but I know situations like this stuff that has happened. And it seems like every year I go to the music conference, there's this one individual that somebody asks, like, do you know this guy? And they start telling them, yeah, and they sit and start talking, and others come by and hear the name and go, yeah, what about him? Yeah, I know him. What do I need to know? And it's, so have a seat. How do you know him? And it's always, well, I did some music with him, blah, 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 or her, or whoever, that individual. And they start hearing about all the stuff that they've done. And they're like, oh my God, you get them scared and paranoid. And they just sit down and say, listen, just be careful and beware. You need to know. You know, libraries had to deal with this, supervisors, composers, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to tell you, man, it'll end your career quicker than it gets started if you do this stuff. I'm just going to tell you right now. Number one, you sign music to a library, it's exclusive, you keep it with that library, don't do anything else with it. Catalog it, do it if you have co-writers, you know. Number two, don't ever take that music if you've got a co-writer and sign that music, you sign exclusive to that library, go to another library and do it 100% in your name, thinking that co-writer won't find out, or that library wouldn't find out because it will. That's one surefire way of getting into some serious trouble, because everybody's coming after you then. Just do the right thing. If you're the kind of person that does the right thing, you wouldn't even think about doing something like that. It's just not cool. It really isn't. Number two, don't ever take a piece of someone else's music and try to make it your own and get it out there and send some stems of it to somebody else to write and put something over, and then send the same stems to somebody else, which is the same stuff, and have them write stuff over it. Excuse me, I had to sneeze, excuse me. But what I'm saying is, don't take the same pieces of music and send to different composers to write different stuff over and send it to different libraries. That's another thing that gets you in trouble. And it starts conflicting, and a lot of these content IDs and this watermark technology they can get lost. So that stuff happened. There's a library I'm with now, and it happened to an individual. He was taking the same pieces of music, but 40 different composers, and they were writing different stuff to it, and they were picking up on it, kind of what was going on. It was a mess because I had to sit down and send sessions to these guys, break down what he sent me. After about the first one or two, they knew. And said, listen, we know because you sent us other stuff. We know you're fine, Chris. Don't worry about it. This has created a mess. We got to clean up. And it's not good, but we're going to fix it. You know. And then it was a loops and samples pack. And then before that, I was hearing things this last year at the conference. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And going, man, it's crazy. Dude, I cannot work with this guy. It's 2 days. Taking a big artist's stuff and calling it his own and putting it out there, and crazy stuff that should have been doing. You got people out there, like I mentioned a time ago, that they are doing music with a composer, splitting the writers, putting it with a publisher. As far as the composer knows, it was going with that publisher. This is the part I worry about on my stuff from way back in the past that I can't worry about. If it happens, I can fix it when that time comes. But then taking that music and going with another publisher, writing 100% and calling it their own, and they're finding his stuff out, and that other composer didn't even know about it, cutting them out. I'm telling you, do not do this. Just be ethical about everything you do, because I'm telling you, people talk. Okay? Number 2, do not start getting out there and doing multiple PRO accounts in your name or try to use someone else's information. Most importantly, don't use someone else's social security number, someone else's identity to start another PRO because you want to do something else, or you just don't do it. You should never have a reason to do it. You should have one PRO. That's like BMI or ASCAP. It should be one in your name, because you could get in a lot of legal trouble where if the PRO didn't know about it, they could report you for identity theft or something. Don't get yourself in a situation to where all of a sudden, well, so-and-so said I could do it. It was my name and maybe your wife or something. They don't know that. You don't want to go through all that stuff. Get yourself legally in trouble to do that. Don't do it. I'm just telling you right now that to be ethical about everything you're doing with your co-writers and everything, please. I know some people say, well, why would you want to do the talk about this? We would know it. You would be surprised. And some people don't have intentions of being dishonest or doing something illegal. Maybe they think, well, I can do this and cheat the system, and I can take the same piece of music and send it to another library and no one will find out about it. They will find out about it. I promise you they will. Don't be that guy that everybody knows. If you go into a conference and you walk into a conference of 1,000 people and 800 of them know you, they don't want to do any business with you, and they kind of like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, I gotta go, I'll talk to you later. Don't even want to give you 5 minutes. You know what time it was when that happened. Don't be one of those guys. Trust me. I know an individual now that he's never been to like the production music conference, but he could walk into it and know everybody in the room, and probably 90% of them will know him and didn't want anything to do with him because they know, what he's done and the stunts he's pulled. Just be ethical and honest and upfront with everybody you deal with. Do not use loops and samples. Here's the third one. Don't use any loops and samples that's not yours, especially in Splice. Because if you're using it, 1 million other people are using it and you didn't write it to begin with, this is a major no-no. Do not do that. Don't use anything on part 2 of that. Don't use anything with AI. Don't generate anything AI and throw it out there. First of all, the audio quality, they can spot it. But second of all, you didn't write it. And AI pulled it from someone else that wrote it. And that's where AI is getting in trouble. It's because it's pulling someone else's music. And watermark technology and content ID is picking up on it. Your tune sats, and they, and if a PRO can't figure out who owns it, they're not going to pay you for it. Don't get in that situation. Don't do it. You see a lot of hip-hop guys and a lot of music guys that'll take loops and samples and make their own music out of it. There's nothing wrong with that. You're making it in your own key and doing your own progression, doing something different and unique with it. Just make sure that there's no remnants of it that somebody can pick up on is that's Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin. Don't ever take something like that and go, well, I'll just chop up the first third of that progression or that melody and throw it in there, same key and all, because the technology is so sophisticated that even the first 3 or 4 notes is going to pick up on what it is. I'm just telling you it will. So just be careful. Be you, write your own music. And if you're going to sample stuff like I've sampled stuff, it's stuff that you make your own music with. It's textures and like, if you haven't seen it, go watch my video where I sampled the sound of whales underwater when I went to Hawaii. It's so cool. Those whales, and I put it in Omnisphere and I created a tension track for it. It sounds so cool. I've done another track with it and I love it. And in fact, as a side note, if you guys want that sample, let me know. I'd be glad to get a link and let you download it and do what you want with it. It's so cool. I was sitting there on a whale watch tour in Maui, and a guy brought the microphone in a little Fender pocket guitar amp, and he put it in the water, and you could hear him. And now it dawned on me, I need to record that. I need to sample that, and I did. So, and I sampled a few other things I want to bring out from the cruise ship that I've never done before, and I think I'm gonna give my hand at that and toy with it a little bit. So, yeah, the world is your oyster. Sample carefully. Make sure that you're not using someone else's content. Please don't do that. Just don't do things that are gonna get you in trouble. Don't let somebody get you involved in something that you know they're doing wrong and you think, well, he's doing it, it's not gonna fall on me. Because it can. Because people look at, well, you worked with him and you're just as much a part of it. It's kind of hard to prove yourself if they don't know you. Therefore, they ain't gonna give you the time of the day beyond that. So just be careful about what you do. Just about doing the right thing, guys. Just no matter what you're doing, sign up your PRO account, BMI, ASCAP, whoever you get with, and one only. Because you have to understand that one number, your IPI number in the PRO, it's like a musician's social security number. That number goes with you wherever you go. If you switch PROs, that number goes with you. Anywhere in the world, whatever PRO you do, it's kind of an understood thing about PROs is that number is, and I didn't know this for years, that number is your musician's social security number. It goes with you wherever you go. It doesn't change, my friends. Make sure that if you're signing stuff with the library, that you understand what you're signing and you adhere to that. Because I'm telling you, you can get yourself in some legal trouble, and I don't want to see that happening. Just do everything ethically in this business, okay? Do everything ethically. Do not do things that you think you're going to get away with, because you're not going to. Trust me, they'll know, they'll find out, and you don't want to kill your career quicker to get started, because I'm telling you, one good publisher blackballs you, and they start talking to the other guys. They talk, man. It's a small world and a small industry, and they talk. So I just wanted to clear that and get that out of the way here. I'm going to start talking about signing up for PROs, reading contracts, and how to find libraries. Try in the next 3 videos of doing that, and I'm going to start talking about some other things. But what I'm going to do as time goes on, things come to mind, I'm going to put it in this video series. And all I ask is if you're watching them, like, subscribe, and pass this on to anybody who's interested. Maybe I can help them. Because I really try to pass on some good information for you guys. Because we're all in this together, man. And I just want to save you a lot of grief. That, there are bad actors out there. And, you get people that are just out of the blue want to collaborate with you and you don't know them. My last and final point is just be careful in collaborating with people if you don't know them. Vet them. Find out, if you know them. Because it's hard for me to collaborate with people unless I know them. There's only a very few people I know right now that I can collaborate with because I trust them. I know they're doing music. And I just, because of a situation with a certain individual that these things have happened way years ago, it really has kind of, made me a little scared to collaborate with people that I don't know. You just gotta be careful. I mean, anything you do in life is always, sadly, somebody trying to cheat the system or trying to get ahead, thinking it's going to make them big money, but it's going to kill their career in the long run, and they never get anywhere with it because they always build a bad reputation. No one wants to deal with them because they're not honest or they're not ethical. Just just think your way through it and everything. I'm not trying to scare you when people approach you about collaborating. If you know who they are and you know they're good, they're doing their own music and they're reputable, don't be afraid to collaborate. It's okay. We'll talk about that more in time about collaborating, you know. I will tell you that 50-50 is the best deal. Don't nitpick collaborations. Just where you're doing a 50%, 50, it doesn't matter if somebody's putting drum work and doing their input and their, input on that album and doing all the drums and stuff. Just do it 50-50 with them, because they're probably doing more than just drum work. They're making suggestions of stuff that'd be cool for that track. They're very creative. I think it's just the fair and way of doing things. Speaking of 50%, we'll talk about when we're talking about contracts and talking about deals to sign and not to sign, and depending on what deal you do sign, how you want to do it. So with that said, I'm going to get off. I just wanted to cover that real quick. Please be careful what you do. Please be ethical and honest about everything. Do not try to cheat the system or do anything by thinking, well, I can cheat it with this and do this and no one will find out. That goes like just taking loops and samples and stuff and just throwing it together and putting it out there, calling it your own. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Don't even do it on Spotify, because they're getting savvy with this stuff and they're going to start kicking this stuff out. A lot of these, like Spotify and Apple Music and this stuff, these curators, they're catching on to this stuff and they're kicking it out. You know, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's going to get more and more sophisticated. So anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. I appreciate you for watching. If you got any questions, anything else you want me to talk about, chime in and I will, or I'll at least answer your question. I appreciate you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.